When you consume sugar, your body breaks it down into glucose, which your cells can use as fuel to perform many different functions. It's found in various foods and beverages like fruits, vegetables, baked goods, and sweet drinks. That's right, sugar is even found in vegetables, so it's not inherently bad. But consuming too much sugar can have adverse effects on your body, your health, and your weight. So in today's video, you will see a step-by-step process of what happens as you eat sugar, based on all the available scientific data. It all originally begins when sugar first makes contact with your tongue. Immediately it undergoes a complex process of digestion and absorption, which is critical to providing your cells with the energy needed to carry out their tasks. So there are enzymes in your saliva that'll start to break down the sugar molecules into simpler, smaller molecules. These enzymes are known as amylases, and their job is to break the chemical bonds between the glucose and fructose molecules that make up sucrose, converting it into simple sugars. From there, the sugar moves to your stomach, where it gets mixed with gastric juices and enzymes. These enzymes help separate the individual sugar molecules from other components of the food or beverage that you consumed. Once that's done, the sugar moves from the stomach into your small intestine. This is where the bulk of the absorption process takes place. Here the sugar gets further broken down by enzymes and then gets absorbed into your bloodstream. Glucose is absorbed directly into your bloodstream, while fructose is absorbed more slowly and primarily metabolized in the liver. Once the glucose reaches your bloodstream, it gets transported to your cells, where it's used as fuel for things like contracting muscle tissue, supporting brain function, and producing hormones and enzymes. Unfortunately, just like fructose and other forms of sugar, if you consume more glucose than your body needs, the excess will get converted into glycogen, and that excess glycogen will first be stored in your liver and muscles. Since your body doesn't need it at the moment, this glycogen can be used later as a source of energy when your body does in fact need it. That's great because throughout human evolution we often have had to go extended periods of time without food. The stored glucose, alongside stored body fat, helps act as an energy reserve in these kinds of scenarios. Now, if your body has reached its glycogen storage capacity, any excess glucose is converted into fat and stored in your adipose tissue. This excess fat can lead to weight gain and obesity if it tips you over into a calorie surplus. Another obvious effect that'll happen after sugar enters your bloodstream is that it'll raise your blood sugar levels. This causes your body to release insulin, a hormone produced by the pancreas that helps to regulate your blood sugar. The way it does this is by removing glucose from your bloodstream and then funneling it into your cells, where it can be used for energy. That's a really good thing because having elevated blood glucose levels, also known as hyperglycemia, can lead to some very bad side effects, like damaging heart health and increasing inflammation. The problem, however, is that consuming too much sugar can negatively impact insulin production and insulin response. Excessive sugar consumption can cause the pancreas to work so hard at excreting insulin that you can develop insulin resistance, a condition in which your body becomes less responsive to this very important hormone insulin. This means that your body has to produce more insulin to achieve the same effect on controlling blood sugar levels. Research links insulin resistance to a range of health issues, such as type 2 diabetes, metabolic syndrome, and cardiovascular disease. As I said, when your body becomes resistant to insulin, your pancreas will have to work harder to produce more insulin, which, over time, can lead to pancreatic burnout and a decrease in insulin production, also known as type 2 diabetes. Type 2 diabetes is a chronic condition that's characterized by high blood sugar levels due to insulin resistance and a reduction in insulin production. It's estimated that 462 million people around the world are affected by type 2 diabetes, which is a little over 6% of the world's entire population. This number likely will only increase over the upcoming years and decades because people are more obese and continue to eat unhealthier than ever before. The adverse effects on insulin production that come from consuming too much sugar are largely preventable. One of the easiest ways to prevent these effects is by reducing your sugar intake. The World Health Organization recommends that adults limit their sugar intake to no more than 10% of their daily calories, with an ideal limit of 5%. This means that if you consume 2,000 calories a day, your sugar intake should be no more than 50 grams or 12 teaspoons per day. However, it's important to note that added sugars, which are sugars that are added to foods and drinks during processing or preparation, should be limited even further to no more than 5% of daily calorie intake, or 25 grams or 6 teaspoons per day. In addition to limiting your sugar intake, there are other ways to improve insulin response and insulin sensitivity. Regular exercise, maintaining a healthy weight, and eating a balanced diet that's rich in whole foods and low in processed foods can all help to improve insulin response and prevent insulin resistance. There are also certain foods and supplements that may help improve insulin sensitivity, such as cinnamon, chromium, and magnesium. In conclusion, sugar is not inherently bad, but consuming too much sugar can have adverse effects on your body, your health, and your weight. When you consume sugar, it undergoes a complex process of digestion and absorption, and excess sugar can be converted into glycogen and stored in your liver and muscles, or converted into fat and stored in your adipose tissue. Consuming too much sugar can also negatively impact insulin production and insulin response, leading to insulin resistance and a range of health issues. To prevent these effects, it's important to limit your sugar intake and adopt healthy lifestyle habits.